Hello everyone. Um, Till now we have completed the first basic part of superclass species. We saw the classification of superclass species. Then we saw the salient features of the classes, then their classification and the characters of the examples we are supposed to study under each of the order. Now we are passing on to the type species Mugelcephalus. Mugelcephalus, it is commonly referred as the grey mullet. Okay. The systematic position of Mugelcephalus is as seen. That is, it comes under phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, superclass species, class Osteichthyes, subclass Actinopterygii, superorder Teleostae, genus Mugel, and species Mugelcephalus. So this is the Mugelcephalus, and it is very common and popular. You can see how it is actually like the basic features. You can see that it is scale colored and moderately elongated, almost oblong in nature, with slightly depressed head and short and blunt snout. It's not so pointed. The snout is not so pointed and elongated. The Externally, you can see that it is olive green on the back, that is on the dorsal side, silver gray on the flanks, that is on the lateral sides, and they have 6 to 8 light brown bands across the body, and that is visible over here. You can see light brown bands, like 1, 2, like 3, 4, 5, 6. So like it is found along the sides of the body, almost from the operculum, the posterior part of the operculum to the tail part. Now, mullet, as seen, it is an edible marine bony fish. It inhabits the coastal waters, estuaries, brackish waters of India, and many species of it spawn in the sea, and the younger ones they develop in estuaries and brackish waters. While some species they move upstream, ascend to the rivers for breeding. During the breeding time, they move to the rivers, and breeding takes place in the river ecosystem. Okay. Now, there are several species of mullets, but among them, the grey mullet, that is Mugelcephalus, is the most popular one, showing a worldwide distribution. It is a herbivore by nature, and it feeds on the vegetation of the muddy bottom. It is euryhaline. Euryhaline means it can tolerate a wide range of salinity, and that is why, as already seen, it can move to marine ecosystem, that is seas and oceans. It can move to estuaries where compared to the marine ecosystem, the salinity is comparatively less. It can even move to river ecosystem where it is freshwater. The salinity is almost like zero as compared with the marine ecosystem. So it can tolerate a wide range of salinity. Such kind of behavior or such kind of processes, phenomenon is known as euryhaline. Okay, haline referring to salinity, and uri means a wide range. Okay, so Mugelcephalus is a euryhaline fish, right? And then it can tolerate a wide range of variations in the salinity of water. Now, it is because of its larger size and faster growth, it is chosen for aquaculture. Okay, because it attains larger size, that is, it has a high amount of flesh, and it grows faster. That is, in a smaller period of time, we can have a larger sized fish to be marketed. So it is preferred for aquaculture, right? Now, basically, the body is divided into head, trunk, and tail. Now you can see it in this figure. Yeah. So here it is the head, then the trunk, and the tail portion. Okay. Now the yeah, sorry. So the body is scale covered. It is provided with scales, and usually the scale type is either cycloid or ctenoid, and the body is has a slightly depressed head and short and blunt snout. The snout is not so pointed, and mouth is terminal and is devoid of teeth. Usually, bony fishes do have teeth, but the mullet they lack teeth. And a pair of external nostrils are present laterally at the anterior end of the head. And behind the nostrils, you can see the eyes. The eyes are devoid of eyelids. Just behind the head region, there are 4 pairs of gills, and 4 pairs, that is 4 on each side. Okay, and on they are covered by the operculum or the gill cover. Okay, it is a bony shield, right? And operculum encloses the extrabranchial chamber. So operculum, it encloses a space known as what you call extrabranchial chamber, and it is where you can find the gill slits. Okay, so the operculum, it encloses a chamber known as extrabranchial chamber, which opens directly to outside, and gill slits open into this extrabranchial chamber. I hope it is clear. So where are the gill slits found? It is found on the walls of the pharynx. So pharyngeal gill slits. What are actually gill slits? Gill slits are small openings, isn't it? So pharyngeal wall do have small openings, which are referred as the gill slits, and these gill slits open into extrabranchial chamber, and the extrabranchial chamber, it opens to outside. Okay, but externally it is not visible because it is covered by an operculum. Fine. So that is with regard to the body features. Then about the fin system, right? Um, as seen, superclass species, they do have fins as their locomotory structure, and the fin system can be divided into two: paired and unpaired. The unpaired fins are usually median in nature. That is, it is either median dorsal or median ventral, or it is at the tip of the posterior end. Okay, so median unpaired fins, and then paired fins are usually laterally positioned. And all these fins, whether unpaired or paired, all these are supported by bony fin rays. Okay, you can see here these structures drawn over here. These are the fin rays. Okay, so all the what you call unpaired and paired fins are supported by fin rays. Okay, now, which are the median fins or the unpaired fins? It includes two dorsal fins, one anal or the ventral fin, and the caudal fin or the tail fin. Okay, and paired fins, two pairs, you can see pectoral fins and a pair of pelvic fins. Right. Now, the caudal fin of mugil or mullet, it is bilobed, that is two-lobed, and the dorsal lobe and the ventral lobe. The dorsal lobe of the tail fin is referred as the epicaudal lobe, and the ventral lobe is referred as the hypocaudal lobe. Okay, and you can see the two lobes are externally equal in size and symmetrical, but internally they are asymmetrical. Why is it so? Because vertebral column is actually curved upwards, and hence what happens, it is not symmetrical internally. Okay, now even unequal even the fin rays are take up unequal development, so that is why it is asymmetrical internally. Okay, and this type of caudal fin with external symmetry and internal asymmetry, it is referred as homocircle caudal fin. Okay, homocircle tail fin is externally symmetrical, but internally it is asymmetrical. Okay, now it is usually associated with terminal mouth and straightforward movement. That is, those fishes which do have a terminal mouth and which take up straightforward movement, they do have homocircle tail fin. And in the tail, vertebral column gets shortened and it is upturned. Okay, so that is with respect to the tail fin. Okay, homocircle caudal fin, it actually it is believed to have evolved from heterocircle caudal fin of cartilaginous fishes. Okay, so that is with respect to the evolution. Now the pelvic fins of mullet are located a little behind the pectoral fin. You can see over here, pectoral fin is slightly more anterior, just behind the operculum, while the pelvic fins, they are placed a little posteriorly of the with respect to the pectoral fins. Okay, hence these pelvic fins are referred as abdominal pelvic fins. Okay, and so what are the other types actually? When the pelvic fins are placed directly below the pectoral fin, somewhere over here, such kind of pelvic fins are referred as thoracic pelvic fin. Okay, and when pelvic fin is placed slightly behind the pectoral fin, it is referred as the abdominal pelvic fin. And when the pelvic fins are in front of the pectoral fins, that is when you just draw a line dorsoventrally along the pectoral fin, if the pelvic fin is placed like in front of it, it is known as jugular pelvic fins. Jugular, Jugular. Okay, so three types of pelvic fin arrangement can be seen. Starting from anterior, it is jugular. Secondly, thoracic pelvic fin, and thirdly, it is the abdominal. Okay, in Mugilcephalus, it is abdominal pelvic fin. Right now, like at about 2/3 of the length of the body from the anterior end is the anal opening. Okay, and close behind it is the urinogenital opening. That is a common opening for excretory and reproductive ducts. Cloaca is absent, and you can see that the anal opening and the urinogenital opening is separate. So a cloaca structure is absent, but cloaca is present in cartilaginous fishes. Okay. Now, as seen, they have like light brown lines passing along their like sides of the body, and running from before backwards laterally are two lateral lines. They are either distinct or maybe slightly, in some cases it may be indistinct. Okay, so these are the features external. Then one more character which we are going to see, it is the exoskeleton. Exoskeleton of fishes, it is formed of scales. Okay, and it consists of covering of thin, flexible, plate-like, overlapping bony scales arranged like tiles on a roof. Okay, the scales in the case of mullet are of two types. You can see the cycloid type of scale and ctenoid type of scale. Okay, two types of scales are seen in the case of mullets, and they are mesodermal origin. That is, the scales are formed from the mesoderm. Okay, the outermost covering is epiderm. Mesoderm is situated below that. So it is mesodermal in origin, and they don't have any enamel coat. And you can see that the anterior end of each scale is embedded in the dermis of the skin, and the posterior end is free. Right. So you can see over here it is marked. 1 minute. Okay, it is marked posterior, right? So this is the anterior. This anterior part is embedded in the skin. Okay, it is inside the skin, while this part is found on the surface, so it is exposed. Okay, and this overlaps the underlying scale. So there will be one scale over here, and the posterior part of the scale, it covers the anterior part of the scale just behind it. Is it clear? Okay, so there is one scale. This part is embedded inside the skin, and there is another scale over here whose anterior part is below this particular scale. Okay, and this is the posterior part which is visible, exposed, while this is the anterior part which is embedded in the case of ctenoid scale. Fine. So the anterior end of each scale is embedded in the dermis of the skin, and the posterior end is free. Now, ctenoid and cycloid scales have basically the same structure, but the main difference is that the free posterior body of the ctenoid scale is spiny. Here you can see, and these are referred as ctenes. That is why it is known as a ctenoid scale. Okay, the cycloid scales, they don't possess any the spiny structures, and each scale is marked by numerous concentric lines running around a central point, and it is referred as a focus. You can see over here focus, okay, or it is known as the nucleus. So you can see the concentric rings surrounding the focus, isn't it? Here also this is the focus over here. You can see the central part, and then all these lines, it is actually concentrically arranged around this focus. So actually the nucleus or the focus is the first part or first part of the scale to be developed, and then as the fish ages, you can see that there is deposition of the rings, and it represents the lines of growth. Okay, annual lines of annual growth. So the number of rings represents the age of the fish, and the concentric lines of the scale are crossed by a you can see radii. Okay, actually this concentric lines are crossed by a few radial grooves. Okay, and in some scales the free posterior border is serrated and reduced into spines or denticles. That is what is referred as the teens. That is what is seen in the ctenoid scale. Okay, and this kind of scales with concentric lines, radiating grooves, and spiny comb-like borders, it is referred as the ctenoid scale. Cycloid scales are nearly circular or elliptical in shape with nucleus, concentric lines, radiating grooves, but lacking a
16.